roll up, ladies and gentlemen. It is that time again. One man went to mill. Roll up, roll up. You know the score by now. You know how it goes. One man went to mill. It's your man, not your boy. One man went to mill. Roll up, gather. One man went to mill. Where are you, people? One man went to mill. Come, gather. Say hello as you're coming in. Matters arising. One man went to mill. Come on, where are you, people? You know the score. You know how we do it. Gather, gather, gather. One man went to mill. Madame Emosio, say hello as you're coming in. If we reach that threshold of 10, then we can begin. One man went to mill. Hello, Chimere Kenneth, hello. Okay, we've reached that threshold. Hello, everyone, hello. Say hello as you're coming in. You've seen the topic, but we might not stick with topic today, or we might even exceed topic today, but we'll try and cover the topics that we already have lined up. But as usual, let me put the invite on for anybody that wants to join me on screen, so that you can debate matters arising with me directly. So that's the hyperlink there if you want to join. Gather, say hello as you're coming in. Omo Goriola is watching from Pittsburgh, United States. Olamide joins us as usual. We have Chimere joining us as well. He's a relatively new name to the proceedings. So that's Chimere on your screen. So matters arising or matters Nigerian, you know how we do it by now. One man went to know. Here I am on your screen, and off we go. So we kick off with the CBN narrative. Of course, this is an ongoing storyline, of course. When Governor Godwin Obaseki came out a week or so ago to alarm to the Nigerian people that the country has run out of money, to the point that they are printing paper money to insulate the monthly budget, especially the March budget. What Governor Godwin Obaseki told us was that the central bank was mandated to print between 50 to 60 billion naira to insulate the fake distribution. So that is, they gather every month in Abuja to distribute money to the states to meet their commitments. So they did not have enough money for March, so they just printed paper money and just gave it to the states. This, of course, is a danger. We all know what this means because, of course, if the money is not backed by the weight of the economy, then it has no value. So this was the alarm that was raised. So a lot of controversy was generated around that, with the Minister of Finance and Digital and planning, or whatever her portfolio is. She has about 3 portfolios, but finance is one of them. Zainab Ahmed, she came out and categorically denied that they were printing money. Then Emefiele, the central bank chairperson, then came out and said that they do print money, but then of course that they do this regularly as part of their functions as the central bank. So still in that era, still in that arena, guys, I bring you this. Nigeria in unfortunate situation under Buhari. Godwin Emefiele is the person that is saying this, and of course, who should know than the #1 banker within the Nigerian state. So this is what he's saying. He's sounding a note of alarm, and this is an alarm coming from the Bank of Nigeria, which is the central bank. The governor of that space, again, Nigeria in unfortunate situation under Buhari, a headline attributed to Godwin Emefiele. So now let's now see why he's saying this. Godwin Emefiele, governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, has admitted that the country's economy is in dire straits under President Muhammadu Buhari's regime. Against the backdrop of the worsening unemployment, inflation rate, and rising debt profile, Mr. Emefiele acknowledged that Mr. Buhari has a precarious situation on his hands. Nigeria is... Sorry, bear with me. Just bear with me. let me just, yeah. Nigeria is unfortunately in a bad situation in the sense that we are facing a problem about productivity output, which is GDP. So just that's gobbledygook to just tell you that the rate that the country is spending money is faster than the rate that the country is earning money. So just read between that language. So see how he has phrased it and then unpack that and reword it, and you see that that is exactly what he's saying. So Nigeria is unfortunately in a bad situation. So when the foremost banker, the country's banker, the governor of the central bank is telling you, and you know that a banker of the governor of the central bank, a banker at that level, by nature and by intonation, has to be conservative and guarded in the language that he uses. Because anything that the governor of the central bank says, it has an impact on the market, and the financial market, the stock market, etc., will always respond to anything that the foremost banker within any country says. And Nigeria is no different. And this is the words now that the governor of the central bank is using and saying Nigeria is unfortunately in a bad situation. So we just take that as a standalone. So it goes on to qualify it, but that itself as a standalone is cause for alarm. So Nigeria is unfortunately in a bad situation in the sense that we are facing a problem with productivity output, which is GDP. So the spending is not matching the earning is not matching the spending in effect. We are also confronted with the problem of inflation. Of course, when you're printing money, then of course you will have inflation. On Thursday, as seen in a social media footage, the central bank boss reacted to Governor Godwin Obaseki's claim that the federal government printed 60 billion naira to share amongst the states in March. If you understand the concept of printing money is about lending. That is our job. There is no need putting up the controversy of printing money as if we were going into the factory printing money and then distributing it on the streets. It is very inappropriate for people to just give some coloration to the word printing of money as if it is some foreign word coming from the sky, Mr. Emefiele argued. Mr. Obas, and by the way, before I carry on, let me just say what you guys are saying in the comment section, because when I'm reading these things to you, I'm not with you guys. So what are you guys making of this? Let me put the hyperlink in case anybody wants to join. So before we carry on, the Governor Godwin Obaseki, let me actually see if I can just get his CV quickly. Godwin Obaseki is not just some casual idiot from the middle of nowhere. This guy has years of high-level banking experience before he went into politics and became the governor of his state. So I'm just trying to see, so I'm just quickly looking through his CV. Investment banking career. Obaseki began his career as a stockbroker in 1983 with Capital Trust Broker Limited, Lagos. He later transferred his services to International Merchant Bank. He moved to AVC Funds Limited, Lagos. In 1988, he served as a project manager. He moved back to New York and worked as a principal of Equatorial Finance Company, a financial advisory firm. He focused on Africa and provided structured trade finance for African-related transactions. So I'm just giving you this just to give you the backdrop to who is saying this. So when Obaseki is saying that Nigeria is printing money and that is cause for alarm, we're not talking from some idiot from Oshodi Market, some bus stop tout, Oshodima Woleo, Emuchenje Daniel. We're not talking about some idiot. We're not talking about some random fool. We're not even talking about somebody that does not have any knowledge of the industry and the space that is talking about. We're talking about a high-level banker that is steeped and satiated and marinated in the banking and financial sector, internationally experienced at the top end of the Nigerian banking structure. And this is who Obaseki is. And he's telling us that you are printing money and you're telling us that he's using abracadabra language and we should disregard him as an idiot. If Obaseki wanted to follow a career in banking, he equally could have been in that post as the governor of the central bank. So we're not talking about some idiot. So let's go back to what this fella is saying. Let's see. Let's pick it up from this paragraph again. If you understand the concept of printing money is about lending money. That is our job. There is no need putting up the controversy of printing money as if we're going into the factory and printing money and then distributing it on the street. It is very inappropriate. So we are talking about propriety, and we have already just heard the CV of the person that is making the comment. So it is not at all inappropriate. It is the informed and learned opinion of a senior banker called Obaseki. So it is very inappropriate for people to just give some coloration to the word printing of money as if it is some foreign language coming from the skies. So this is the missive that Emefiele is throwing in the direction of Obaseki, but banker for banker, I think Obaseki's CV will match equally Emefiele, at least up to the point that he became the governor of the central bank. Mr. Obaseki had said last week that in another year or so, the federal government might run out of cash. Where will we find this money that we go to Abuja to share every month? Last month, we got FAAC for March, so that is the meeting that they have for the monthly allocations of funds to the states. So last month, we got FAAC for March. The federal government printed an additional 50 to 60 billion naira to top up for us to use to share. So this is what Obaseki claimed in that claim. Further discrediting Mr. Obaseki's claim, Mr. Emefiele disclosed that Central Bank of Nigeria gave support loans to the state when the country was hit with a recession in 2016, pointing out that the state have yet to refund the loans. In January, Fitch rating, so Fitch, you have to understand, there are institutions out there in a similar way that when you go to your bank and you want to take a loan, a mortgage to buy your house, they don't just say, you don't just walk in and ask for a loan and they hand it to you. They will peruse your financial history, and then they will vet it against certain criteria. And of course, the rating is usually done by an organization that specializes in rating people in terms of credit worthiness. And that is what Fitch is. Fitch is an organization. I'm not sure if I think it's an independent organization that rates the financial worthiness of a country. So you have to understand who Fitch is. So we have to have these background details in order to fully engage with what we're discussing. Let me put that hyperlink up again just to see if anybody will come and join in the conversation. You can come and join and agree, disagree, add your own embellishment to it. And this is how I like to see it go, to have that engagement with you. In January, Fitch Rating, an American credit rating agency, warned that Mr. Buhari's continued reliance on the central bank to fund the country's budget deficit might pose severe economic consequences. The agency disclosed that Mr. Buhari's regime directly borrowed 1.9% out of the estimated 3.7% GDP from the central bank to fund deficits in the 2020 fiscal year. The report expressed fear that sustained use of direct monetary financing could raise microeconomic stability risks given the current weak international safeguards. So what they are saying in effect is that these people, they are just calling off the, when I'm saying calling, that's C-U-double-L, hello Sly I'll come to you in a moment. Let me just land this thought and then land this narrative and then I'll get your input, but I'm acknowledging you if you mute yourself so we don't get feedback. So when they are, so I've lost my thought there. So they're just calling of the monetary ratings of the country. So rather than have some money that they're earning to fund whatever it is that they need to fund, they're just slicing it off the central bank and slicing it off the central bank. And usually the international market will insulate because Nigeria is such a massive economy. But what this Fitch rating is saying is that having gone through what we have gone through in recent times, with the pandemic, the slowing of the economies around the world, with money now being tight globally, this practice of just dipping into the central bank is something that will lead to almost a collapse of the economy. But then, of course, what understanding can a person called Buhari have of anything like that? Is the money there, Mr. Governor Central Bank? Go and bring 2 billion for me, otherwise I will behead you. This is the only thing that he knows how to say. Slyby, come in before I round off this particular narrative. Hello, how are you? Tell us where you are and tell us what you're making of this.
Hello,
Slyby?
good evening.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, off you go. We're listening.
Yeah, good evening. I'm calling from Europe. I just decided to switch off my light because I'm in my room. I think it's getting late here.
Okay, carry on. What are you making of what we're saying?
Yeah, I'll be follow up the program. Well, concerned about this, our incompetence leader. I hear the when you were reading about the news of Nigeria government, they are printing up Lenra. I think this claim is coming from the governor of Edo State, Mr. Obasaki. And hello, can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you.
Wow,
Yes, I'm giving you the floor to have free expression, but I'm also agreeing with you. And when you are saying the Edo State Governor Obaseki, let's not confuse things. Obaseki was a senior banker for several years, for decades, before he went into politics, both in Nigeria and in New York. Do you understand? So we're not talking about some random fool. We're talking about somebody that has
I know when you I hear when you were reading. I hear when you were reading his profile, just as I'm coming. So Obasaki is not a no-base man. He's a knowledgeable and intellectual-based man. So before Obasaki could able to come up and heap up such a claim, I believe he see where Nigeria is heading to. So he just came up to give us a secret that these people they are taking us back to another century which we cannot be able to come out. I think that is what the man just came to say. I haven't said that. I watched the CBN governor, I think Mr. Emefiele, when I watched about the 2-minute video why the man was sweating profusely. I know you see what we are happening because of this incompetence administration which they are heading the Nigeria. I think we go nowhere with this set of people. Because these people they don't have anything they don't have anything economics in their history. They don't even know.
No. You see, Sly. The thing is, I saw that thing too. By the way, with Emefiele mopping his head with a handkerchief every minute. You know, when you are lying, you are when you don't have confidence in what you are saying, you do tend to sweat a lot. So that told already enough about the content of the words coming out of his mouth. But we set that to one side. You see, these people, they don't really care. Do you understand? They are very basic people and they know that they want something and then they just set off to get it. So they're just seeing all this money and just taking all this money. They know that they have another 2 years to take all this money. And whatever happens to Nigeria after that happens to Nigeria. These people, they've got estates in Saudi. They've got estates in Dubai. They've got mansions in that because for some funny reason, these Fulani people they seem to love the United Kingdom. So they've got estates in the vast properties in the United Kingdom, and they've got houses in America. Also, if you look at their children, anytime they report their children, they say, "Oh, just came back from London, just graduated from New York." Their families and their children, none of them, when they were going through Ajimobi, the last Oyo State governor that just passed away, when they were going through his estate, they were finding houses bought for $1 million in some southern regions of America. Just $1 million in that period that he was governor. Of course, his children are there. And why that story came out was that I think one of his babes in America, was trying to contest with the thing. So the wife came out. So these people, they don't really care. Do you understand? They don't really care, because if it falls, they just walk away. They just walk away. They are elderly and they know that their time is up, but they know that they have insulated their children both with international education. And you would not be surprised to hear that pretty much all of their children, they would have bought them some foreign passports to Canada, for Canada, United Kingdom, etc. So they don't care. Do you understand? They will continue to loot it until something or somebody stops them. And since nothing and nobody can stop them, they will just continue to loot it. The Obaseki is saying that if we carry this thing on for another year, the economy will break. And this guy is saying that he's talking as if printing money is what from the sky. Is Obaseki a fool? Is he just from is it just from palm? Is it coming from palm wine tapping? Is it a palm wine tapper that has come from the? I mean, what are we talking about here? You know,
this is a man that have a vast knowledge.
You know, so that's the ridiculousness of it. Sly, unless you want to make another point, make your point. Then I'll just round off this story and then I'll come back to you again.
Yeah, what we are trying to say, like Emefiele or whatever they call him, although I'm not too much following, I don't know much about the man. But what I'm saying about this Buhari led administration, what is going on there? No matter how intellectual you are, once you are under their control, your intellectual, you keep it aside.
Yeah, but the vice president of Nigeria is a classic example, isn't he? A law professor who is a professor of one of the top 3 universities in Nigeria, Unilag, married to the granddaughter of Awolowo. But what is he doing? He's a T-boy in Aso Rock. He's a T-boy.
I watched one of your videos where Gabashe was interpreting law to a professor of law, vice president.
Imagine that. Shehu Garba Shehu, he was trying to educate Governor Akeredolu of Ondo State on constitution and law. Governor, you see, because when we put governor next to the names of these people, we forget their antecedents to get there. We forget that Obaseki was a senior banker before he became a governor. So this guy is talking to him anyhow. Governor Akeredolu is a senior advocate of Nigeria, and not only that, he is the former president of the Nigerian Bar Association. So this is the person that Garba Shehu is trying to give lectures on law. Garba Shehu, that cannot string a sentence together that coheres, is trying to educate a senior advocate of Nigeria and the former president of Nigerian Bar Association on constitution. I mean, it's unbelievable sometimes. Unbelievable.
What I don't understand is this present regime or present predicament we find ourselves as a nation. How come that this Buhari regime, and because most time if you are coming to educational base or intellectual base, we always see these people as a low-class human being. I mean the northerner. We see them as a low-class being compared to the department and the other part of the country. How come that anybody fall under the administration, then no matter how incompetent that person is, that competency is being suspended, and no matter how intellectual you are, that your intellectualism is being suspended? How come that these people hold control over the other certain part of the country? How come?
Sly, there are 2 answers. There are 2 answers to that question.
Okay.
The first answer is the mistake that a lot of us make, myself, yourself, and a lot of people inclusive, the mistake that they make is that we dismiss these people as cattle rearers and idiots. So you see that cattle that they rear, an average malu is 80,000 naira, to 100,000 naira. Even in that cattle alone, they have vast wealth and there's an economy there. And of course, they run that industry, which is a multi-billion industry. These people, in terms of politics, they know how to use the weight of their number and their their preponderance for violence, and they understand the Southerners, that the Southerners are timid by nature, and they understand how to have the whip hand over the Southerners. So you can go to your Oxford and get all your PhDs and come back, but you will still be my driver, is what the Fulani man is saying to you. So who exactly is the idiot in that equation is the question. So that is really where it is. They know that with force and the weight of their number, they will always have dominion over the Nigerian space. That's just it.
Wow. Because you just you clear the air, because what I'm trying to say now, like other part of the country, I mean like the Easterners and other, you know, they always have a division among themselves. They always have this division among themselves. You can never hear because when it comes to the Northerners, those people, they use their religion as a tools, as a weapon. I don't know whether you are following me.
No, I follow you and I agree with you. And what you have said is actually even more important than what I've just said, because they have a singularity of purpose. When the North moves, they move as one. But when the South moves, they move not just by village to village, it's just by household to household. So we're so busy disagreeing with each other but they come with that singularity of purpose. Look at what happened to Goodluck Jonathan. Every Northerner ganged up against him to say that we want him out, and they moved him out because they say we want that space. So what then happened next, they did not anticipate it, but you could see how they can move in unison when they decide to move in unison. We have I Am African. He joins us, a regular contributor to the channel. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Good. Are you following the narrative?
Yes, I joined just a few minutes ago, and I was just going to talk about what the other brother said about asking how come the northern people that we usually think that they are are more educated than them, how come they've been ruling? Yeah, I think what I was going to say to that are two things. First, we have to possibly go back to the beginning of amalgamation when Nigeria was joined together. So almost like they were the one that were put there to be in charge.
I Am Africa. You're always taking us back to Punta Pite.
We have to go back. So they tried as much as possible to cling to that, because they were almost like you enter a house first, and then you know in and out, and then you can just control everybody else that come in after you. And then the second thing I was going to say is that when we talk about education, I think we should be careful about what we regard as education. So education starts from the house. So it doesn't really matter what language that education comes from in the house. So you tell your children, this is how to do this is how to do that. And then we then go for that to the whatever the traditional education system. So, you know, for the fact that we've gone to unit to do even rocket science or whatever, we've done biomedical science in school, doesn't really mean that we're more intelligent than them. So this is my view. So because this is the thing, and then I agree with one man in terms of like the Southerner are naturally so like timid. We are timid. So and a part of the reason again is that, you know, majority of us, we have to just leave. I'm not talking about, that's why majority of, you know, Southerners.
Is it not Egbamio? Is that not the summary of the Southerners?
Yeah. So you know, it's just So, but more like
I know. And the other thing, these people, they have no.
Education is not just.
No. We take that point, but then
have I mentioned before that I actually had my university degree in the North?
Yeah, you said in the last session. Yeah. So, what the point you are making is not actually peculiar to the North, because what you're saying, training starting from home, that permeates all the societies. We all get trained first from home, but then of course the sort of training that they train themselves might well be different from the sort of trainings that we train ourselves. Okay, let me just round off this narrative and then we'll go on to the next one. I'm happy for you guys to hang around if you're happy to hang around, but just mute yourself as I round this off so we don't get a reverb, and then I'll just come back to you as we go. So I'll just pick it up from this random paragraph again because we've paused it for long enough. The agency disclosed that, yes, this is Fitch now, alarming at the Nigerian state. So let me take it from where it would make sense. In January, Fitch Rating, an American credit rating agency, warned that Mr. Buhari's continued reliance on the Central Bank of Nigeria to fund the country's budget deficit might pose severe economic consequences. The agency disclosed that Mr. Buhari's regime's directly borrowing 1.9% out of an estimated 3.7% GDP from the central bank to fund deficits in the 2020 fiscal year. The report expressed fears that the sustained use of direct monetary financing could raise microeconomic stability risks given the current weak institutional safeguards. So we've already discussed that, so I'm not going to rehash. If you've come in later, then please watch from start again after we finish the session. It, however, expected Mr. Buhari's regime to reduce its leaning on its overdraft account with the Central Bank of Nigeria, which enables cash advances from the bank to the federal government in 2021. In response, Mr. Emefiele argued that it would be irresponsible not to finance the federal government when revenues drop. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is just now the usual. But he is alarming that the country is in a serious situation. This is what Emefiele is saying. And for him, given the caution of his position, because of course the position of the Central Bank of Nigeria governor is a very sensitive position, and all of the markets, all of the financial markets hang on to his every word, because his every word you can extrapolate and project a policy position just from even the casual utterances of the governor of the central bank. So he has to be guarded in his words. But when he's now saying that Nigeria is in a very bad situation, then that, of course, is alarm bells all the way around. So we'll end this narrative here. Maybe does anybody want to chime in with their comments before we go on to the next story? Let's see what the comment section is saying. Yeah. So let's just. Okay, we've got James joining us. Hello, James.
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Hello, James. How are you? Have you been following?
Yeah.
Do you want to make a quick comment on
No, I think I Am Africa was trying to make some comments, so I just want to join and listen to him.
Okay. All right. Let me go to.
Oh, okay.
So did somebody want to say something?
Yeah,
go quickly. Yeah. Go on.
I'll just quickly say. I mean, I'm not expert on economics and how sort of like central bank works. But what I will just say is that because almost like maybe they were trying to use the same approach that the Western power using America, and we all know about American printing money and all of that. So not literally
quantitative easing.
Not
quantitative easing.
Not literally printing money. We know all money is all digital now, so it's just like a number. They just type it and. But our own case, because they are the ones that are behind everything, the world economy. But in our own case, I just hope it's not going to backfire. So because I hope we know.
Yes, just to speak to that, what you said, I am African. Before I go to the comment section, what the Americans actually did, that was under Obama when the global economy collapsed in 2008, and they started to pump money and print money just to flood the money into their system. So, and they called it quantitative easing at that time. But what they did with that quantitative easing is that they just used it to start to build infrastructural projects like railways, big roads, big important infrastructural projects, so that the value of that money that they were printing was tied into that infrastructural asset, and then that value of that money can then be established.
Okay, so but we're using our home to buy houses.
Oh no, to go and to give Aisha to go to Dubai to go and do shopping for your Zara. This is what we use our home. So look, anyway, let's go to the comment section, see what people are saying. So Chimere is saying, I am watching from Niger area. So nice to have you on board. Emmanuel, he just says I. He didn't even bother to spell the word hi fully. It's just the letter I that he has decided to use to say hello. Steve is watching from Qatar. Ahigbe Simon, he's saying hello. Ahigbe Simon comes back again. How are you doing? Watching from Europe. Europe is a continent. Maybe narrow it down to a country. Tawa Kilani, good evening. Good evening to you, Tawa. Welcome, Tawa says. We have Mark Henry, a friend of the show. CBN governor is a politician and not serving the people. You know, it actually surprises me. This guy, CBN governor, I have to doff my hat to him because he has to be a special human being. The CBN governor that we had now, it was the one that replaced Lamido Sanusi when Goodluck Jonathan unceremoniously kicked him out of government, not out of government, but out of the central bank. So he replaced Lamido Sanusi, and that was with 2 years to run in the Goodluck Jonathan regime. So when Buhari came in under this anti-corruption crusade, you would have thought that not only would they have kicked Emefiele out of the central bank, he would have locked him up as well, because of course no corruption can take place that will not go via the central bank. But not only did he not kick him out and lock him up, he actually kept him there because this guy must be so adept at helping any and every. So what they calls them Ajib, any government in power, AGIP, any government in power. So what they calls them Ajib. So this guy will go with anybody that is there, so long as they are cutting him his own 10%, they can steal as much as they like. So I doff my hat to that guy, the governor of the central bank. So that is what Mark Henry has to say. So, go on.
Can I say something, sir?
Yeah, carry on. Yeah.
Okay. I want to respond to one of the contributions before I Am Africa just came in. You said that was trying to talk about the Northerners and why are they ruling us? You understand me? The question is that the real problem we have with Southerners is that we don't know our history. We are very ignorant of our history. I have to tell you the truth. And nobody wants to tell us the fact. The real wicked people in Nigeria are the Southerners, not the Northerners. It's what we taught them. That is what they are perfecting. We always try to present ourselves as very good people. If indeed we are good, what stops us not to unite and tell these people what is good? You understand me? So, okay, why did I brought in history here? Now, let me just throw a little brief history backward. Do you know that the Fulani that were...
There's a lot of bounce back. There's a lot of bounce back where you are.
Okay, are you hearing me now?
Yeah, that's slightly better.
Okay. Now, even before the independence, you know, these Northerners, they were the one that was afraid of we Southerners. So they never wanted to be part of southern part of Nigeria. They were so scared. But we brought them in, and those Fulani people, what they were worried about is that they believe we are coming to dominate them. Like the foul cry we are crying today. You understand me now? And the crisis was already there. And they were very neutral to this crisis. And most of these crises were Southern people crises. But we want to blame them for everything. So now let me just throw a little question in here. Do you know that those who assassinate Agu Ironsis there was no single Muslim there. The whole people were Christian. You don't even have a book that will point this to us. The only thing they will tell you that these people are bad. You get what I'm saying now? Just go and look at those names that participated in that evil. You will see that no single Fulani appeared there. I have to tell you the truth. So after the elimination of
hold on, James.
Yes.
I am African.
Yeah.
Can you hear James okay where you are?
Yes, I can hear him.
Okay, James, carry on.
Okay. The names of the people that were there, that let me just mention a few. The Gowan himself is a Christian, still alive. TJ Danjuma, a Christian. Theophilus, what is it called? Jeremiah Oseni is a Christian, and other guys that were there that very night. You understand me? But we pretend to label these people as they are the bad people. They only perfected what we started as people. You get what I'm saying now? We the Satanans, our mind is the most cruel set of people. We don't want to admit. It is that cruelness and craftiness in the South that they are afraid of. And that is why they don't want to relegate power. We told them the importance why they must take that power. Let me tell you, for example, as an Igbo man, if you enter a bus, you are coming from Lagos, and there are a set of police officers on the way, and they stop you. You Igbo man, you cited the man because he's an Igbo. Just tell him Dalo, your problem will start. As a Doma, just greet that man Domo and see what will happen to you. Let Ansa man greet his fellow Ansa brother. Then when you compare the three, you will see our mindset toward us. You understand me? I don't want just see the problem they will give to you. Now, what is Wazobia? When this Wazobia also came, it is Wazobia that failed Nigeria today. Because
James,
Wazobia was for conquest.
You are taking us into new territory now. You are irregular, okay. So you know you are irregular. So you know we are always under the pressure of time.
Yeah.
You know now. So we are under the pressure. So sum it up, and then so that I can go to the comment section and go into the.
So it is our time. We should stop blaming them. Let us accept the fact that we ourselves are also contributing to the problem, and our people are becoming so easy for them to manipulate. And again, we now lack that what I call total lack of trust and unity among us. So that is the real problem we are facing. Even if they restructure Nigeria today, they decide to divide Nigeria, whereby everybody is just crying tribal. And that
Nigeria is tribal, but you are right. The first person to stab you in the back within the Nigerian space is your fellow Yoruba man, your fellow Igbo man. I'm not quite sure if they're I'm not sure if their doors are like that, if the people of, because they seem to have their own ways. I'm not sure if they are as treacherous as the Yorubas and the Igbos, but the Yorubas are and the Igbos, they are notoriously treacherous people. They don't want their neighbors to do well, certainly not better than them, and they will sacrifice anything and use that sly. You know how sly we are, that cunning, that that ways that we have. They will use those ways. So let me go to the comment section, round off the comment section, and then we'll go on to the next story. But before I do that, let me invite Sly B. If you're still, Sly B, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still with you.
Yes. Do you want to give us a thought before we carry on?
No, just carry on. I'm enjoying the program.
Okay. So we carry on. So everybody put their mics on mute so we don't get a reverb. So we go back to the comment section. We last stopped with Mark Henry, and he said, Mark Henry, a regular on the show, he said CBN governor is a politician and not serving the people. So yes, we've discussed that. Amide Messi, hello, my good friend. Nigeria is already dead by bad leaders. Well, that is a sentiment that is shared by a lot of people. Jennifer comes in. Jennifer contributes regularly. So this is Jennifer. The cow industry should be in the ranch, not in the farmer's farm, nor in the schools. And by the way, that nor in the schools. I'm sure we've all seen those videos of these people actually rolling cattle into classrooms and little children actually looking on in alarm as cattle were being waded through their classrooms with just some casual Hausa Fulani boy just looking arrogantly to say who will even dare to cough in the wrong way. So we've all seen those videos. So Jennifer, their industry should be, their cow industry should be in the ranch, not in the farmer's farm, nor in the schools. Or maybe they want to take their cows to teach the pupils in the classroom. So that might well be maybe a Greek science. Maybe that is part of the Greek science curriculum Israel comes in. Good evening to you, sir, from Italy. Good evening to you, my brother. Olusoji comes in. Nigeria is gasping for breath, and it is obvious that unemployment rate reflects the ineffectiveness, incessant borrowing. So yes, there is sense in that. I have to reflect on that. So Jennifer rounds off the comments. I believe Mr. James, he is very correct in his contribution to the topic. So James, you have a fan there. So that was that narrative, but we go on to the next narrative. This one is a bit comical, of course, and when I tell you the name of the personality involved, then you will see why it's a bit comical. ROCHAS Okorocha, we are going to the big-bellied guy from Imo State. Iberiberism is what we are talking about now, Mr. Iberiberism. So now let's now see what Mr. Iberiberism has to say. After EFCC detention, Okorocha says anti-graft agency cells are of international standard. So that is the headline that we're opening with. So this guy now, who looted completely, because I've done a lot of ROCHAS Okorocha videos. Anybody that follows this channel would have heard those videos. This guy looted every single thing in Imo State for 8 solid years, to the point that they were breaking into his warehouse under not Hoputo Dema, who was the one before Emeka Ehidioha, under Emeka Ehidioha's brief tenure as the governor of that state. They were breaking into warehouses owned by ROCHAS Okorocha and his family to try and recover some of the things that ROCHAS Okorocha looted, and some of the things that they were finding were so alarming that this guy was looting light bulbs. They were unscrewing doors from the hinges of government property and looting it into their warehouse. They were buying road lamps, street lamps, and looting it. These people, they were looting, door handles, the locking system for doors. They were looting every single thing. He looted A to Z, that whole place. So the EFCC are now catching this guy now to say, this one, we are all looters, but this is your own. We have to try and bulala you a little bit. Although he tried that technique that they will run to the Senate and get immunity there, but that looting still was at that level. Even Hope Uzodinma, who came in, who is a member of his own party, he was also so alarmed by the level of looting that this guy looted. This Okorocha guy, he was gifting his family government properties, government land in choice areas in Imo State, one of the best areas in Imo State. He was gifting his family landed properties in that space, and then using government funds and assets to build hotels for his family in these choice property places. So this guy is a complete criminal, absolute grade barao and everything, complete thief. So they are catching him now and they are putting him in a EFCC cell, and this guy is coming out to come and report back as if he has gone to some 5-star hotel and he is coming back to do review of hotel. Look at this is the most ridiculous person on God's own planet, but let's see how he fleshes out now. This is excursion to the EFCC facility. So this is ROCHAS Okorocha in his usual comical manner. Former governor of Imo State, ROCHAS Okorocha, has shared his experience with Nigerians after his detention at the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC facility over alleged financial misappropriation during his tenure. Oh, somebody should mute themselves. I'm hearing reverb. I think that might well be... Okay, thank you, whoever that was. So let me actually take that from the top again. Former governor of Imo State, ROCHAS Okorocha, has shared his experience with Nigerians after his detention at the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC facility over alleged financial misappropriation during his tenure. Recall that Mr. Okorocha was arrested by the EFCC operatives at about 4:10 p.m. on Tuesday at his Unity House office located in Garki, Abuja. He was released on Thursday after spending 2 nights with the... And by the way, let me read this part. He was released on Thursday after spending 2 nights at the anti-graft agency. So, by the way, usually when they arrest these people, they don't, people at that level, an ex-governor, etc., they don't really hold on to them for more than an hour or two to say that, oh, we've just invited him. They don't even arrest them. Say they invited them to come and answer some questions, and then they'll sit them in some office and give them tea and biscuits for 2 hours or so. And then he will just tell whoever needs to be told that, don't worry, just send your boys. And then the usual thing, and is it $1 million this time? Okay. And the boys too, we need $500,000. Okay, we'll make it 1.5. So they just do it 2 hours and it's out. But this guy's crimes were so much that he spent not 2 hours, but 2 days in EFCC facility. So I just wanted to really just reflect on that. So it carries on, but speaking through his media aide, Sam I'm not going to attempt the name because I'm only going to pronounce it badly, so I'm going to call it Sam. So speaking through his media aide, Sam, Mr. Okorocha said the anti-graft agency only invited him for clarification on matters that are already in court. So I hadn't even read that when I was making the point. So they've invited you for clarification. Clarification is it yes or no? Is this right or no? What is clarification? Clarification is 30 minutes, 1 hour. If the clarification really needs expansion, it is 2 hours. But he was clarifying in an EFCC cell for 2 days. This is what this comical guy would have us believe. Writing on his social media handle on Friday, the senator representing Imo West said, after inspecting the EFCC facility during his detention, he concluded that the facilities are of international standard. That is not the end, but I just want to come to the panel to see, am I being silly here? But who wants to say something on this? Because this one is just, that ROCHAS Okorocha, I just surrender to that guy. It's from a different world. But it's a Baba Salah, but it's a thief. It's a bit like Dino Melaye, a thief, but a Baba Salah as well. James, unmute yourself.
I can say Nigerian.
What are you making of our brother ROCHAS?
Yeah, that is now our culture. So every negative stuff is now something that is accepted in Nigeria circle. So whether him or another guy, they are just best of the same feather. You understand? I will only describe Nigeria's situation like a man. You have a fish. After frying it with sugar, with salt and everything, you want pussycat to hold it for you. It's not going to work. That is just the situation we found ourselves. So Nigeria cake is not like a fried. It's not like a fried fish. Give it to pussycat. Even you that is talking now, if they make you governor now, if you are not careful, where will you start from? Imagine a society where you don't account to the government and the government don't account to the people. The government don't even know the existence of these people. Because first of all,
what really amuses me about this ROCHAS guy, James, is that the way he's sounding is that he said he had inspected the facilities and it was up to international standard, as though he was sent as on a mission to go and supervise. And this is the guy, this is the criminal that was arrested, and he's telling you that he has his. I mean, what is Sly, make some sense of it for us, Sly.
Yeah, the thing is, okay, Sly, okay.
Oh, yeah, just that the way the sound sometimes, you can't hold the life.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? He's a ridiculous man.
One thing I just left for all those statements, they are just taking the country for a ride.
Yes.
That's all. Thank you, my brother.
Yeah, they are just taking the country for a ride. All these people you are seeing, they are just an agent of Lollywood. That is that is what we have as our leader. They are just an agent of Lollywood. Be inviting the ex-governor of Imo State, ROCHAS Okorocha. I know it's just an effort of futility. Because number one,
politically motivated.
Who is going there to interrogate him? Is it not the same robber?
But that is what I said, Sly. Now they will invite him in. He will say, "Is it $1 million you want this time around? Is it to the usual quotas? Let me give you 1.5 so you can share with the boys as well." And that is the end of the matter.
Just imagine a man who invited by the anti-graft agent, and is coming back to tell the Nigeria or the people that what he saw or the facility is of international standard.
Look
Just
at that.
imagine that way. Which
Like he
means
went to.
The reason is this,
he went
do you know why those facilities are there? The place was not built for me and you or the common man. They purposely built it for politicians.
It's a different
for that reason. So for that reason, it must be of a very good standard.
Yeah.
Sorry, James. Let me bring I am African in, but let me just make this point. It is a different prison for, of course, the upper echelons, because of course their own prison is like a hotel. This is why you can report, because the room that they put him in, it was similar to the room that they picked him up from Sheraton Hotel. So they picked him up from a presidential suite in Sheraton Hotel, and they took him to presidential suite in the EFCC facility. So he's just telling us that, yes, you know, the foie gras and the croissant and the champagne is of a good vintage. I am African. What are you making of all this? Inspector Okorocha has gone to inspect the EFCC facility.
I mean, it's really very laughable and really very funny, because I've been busting his laughter. But I have to say this as well. I think it's EFCC, from their own point of view, I think it's just for them to show something as if they are walking. You understand what I mean? So, you know, if they pick up Okorocha and then it goes in the news, then it shows that, oh, they are actually walking. Why? They are actually not doing any work. And then we all know how things work in Nigeria in terms of, like, you know, they have Godfather at the top. And then so if the Godfather at the top is happy with you, then you just do anything you want and get away with it. But if the Godfather is at the top, if you are not happy with you, then you're in trouble. So it's not... that's why you still have time to say.
I think it's the new boy, this Bauer that they've just put in at TFCC. He's just wanting to show his spurs that I am also here. Look at me. I can take anybody down. But then, of course, ROCHAS Okorocha is an easy pick, because nobody is in support of, even the people of Imo State. Now, that guy cannot walk the streets of Imo State. They will stone him for the things that the opportunity, because Imo State should be one of the wealthiest states. It's still an exemplary state. It's a beautiful state. If you drive through Imo State, you will wonder at the beauty of the place. But the opportunities that guy denied that state, if he walks the street of Imo State, they will stone him. So that is, let's round off ROCHAS Okorocha's narrative, and then we go on to the last story. I might well not do the last story because I just put it in as a jocular one, but it might well... It's about Cbn Gov, but we'll see as we go along. Where did we stop with ROCHAS? Sorry, bear with me 1 second. Okay, writing on a social media handle on Friday, the senator representing Imo West said after inspecting... Sorry, can people mute their mic? We're getting a reverb. So yes, writing on his social media handle on Friday, the senator representing Imo West said after inspecting the EFCC facilities during his detention, he concluded that the facilities are of international standard. According to him, the staffers of the commission deserve commendation for their professionalism in the discharge of their duties. He, however, urged the commission to improve the welfare of its staffers in order to keep them motivated. Mr. Okorocha said, sharing my experience at the EFCC with my team, I had the opportunity to inspect the facilities there. I dare say they are international standards, even the cells. I also commend the staff for their professionalism in the discharge of their duties. However, there is the need to ensure that the welfare of the staff is improved so that they don't look outside. So don't look outside, of course. We all know what that means. Imagine an EFCC officer not looking outside. So this is that is the narrative of that. The last story, I'll just bring it to you briefly because it just tickled me. I'm not really sure if this is nothing political. It's more of a light-hearted one. And we're speaking to the Otedola daughter, Cbn. Of course, she's always turning up in all of these weird-looking outfits, etc., and purporting that she's a musician. But if you ever attempt to listen to any of her outputs, then you might well end up with an ear, nose, and throat specialist with some doctor prodding your ears with a tool. So definitely not anything other than Omo Daddy. But then Daddy, of course, is an oil billionaire within the Nigerian state. DJ Cuppy reacts after a follower said she's all the money in the world. After a follower said she has all the money in the world, but don't know how to dress. So this is DJ. They are forever poking fun at this girl and ridiculing her. But then, of course, we saw her papa buy all of them a Ferrari each. You know, just a few months ago, he just went down the showroom and bought 7 Ferraris on the spot, or is it Porsche or whatever, or Lambo, so some super expensive super car. So who exactly is laughing? Maybe she cannot know how to dress, but then she would not know how to dress in an expensive Ferrari car. DJ Cuppy has responded after a Twitter user shamed her fashion style. The Twitter user posted, DJ Cuppy is a prime example of having all the money in the world and not knowing how to dress. So all the gear, no idea. And DJ Cuppy replied, he says, fashion police, oh yeah, arrest me, madam. So that's just a feeble little, but that's just an aside. So I might well just take this as an additional story. There's this story that I picked up. I've actually done a video on this, which I will post on the channel maybe tomorrow, but I'll bring you the narrative anyway. This is to the Oduduwa Republic. Yoruba leaders storm Ibadan, demand Oduduwa Republic. So that fervor and that chanting and agitation for Oduduwa Republic is really now starting to gather real pace now. Thousands of youths, women, and leaders of Yoruba race are currently occupying some streets in Ibadan in demand for Oduduwa Republic. Correspondents who are monitoring the procession report that the protesters are currently in front of Makpo Hall in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. The protesters are led by a Yoruba group, Ilana Omo Oduduwa, clamoring for self-determination. The group is led, so this is the weight really of this agitation. The group is led by Professor Banji Akintoye, a former senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The protest, which was supposed to start around 9 a.m. on Saturday, could not start until 11 a.m. due to heavy security presence at the entrance and around Makpo Hall. The protesters, having sensed heavy security presence, later mobilized to the front of Makpo Hall to begin the protest. Some of those who spoke noted that Yoruba nation had suffered enough in Nigeria. One of the leaders of the group, Basharon Kunle Adesokan, maintained that it was time for Yoruba race to have their own country. He said, Yorubas have suffered enough. We are not in support of the 2023 elections. We are telling all politicians not to contest. They should not contest to waste their money. Publicity Secretary of the group, Mr. Maxwell Adeleye, who spoke to correspondents, confirmed that the security agencies did not allow the protest to hold at Makpo Hall as earlier scheduled. He said, "Dear colleagues, the police in Makpo, Ibadan said they are at the venue to prevent hoodlums from..." So this is the standard go-to of the Nigerian police, isn't it, when they are trying to shut down free speech. So they hijack the free speech to prevent the hoodlums. But who exactly are the hoodlums? More so the fear is of the hoodlums in uniform. So he said, "Dear colleagues, the police in Makpo, Ibadan said they are at the venue to prevent hoodlums from hijacking the rally for Yoruba self-determination and not stopping it from holding." So that is just an additional bonus story. So we do a round robin of the people that we have gathered just to get thoughts. We start with you, Sly. So we've gone through all of the narratives. What do you make of of everything? Really, give us your final thoughts as we seek to close down, as we seek to round up.
Let me start from the comment of that guy, of that DJ Cuppy or whatever they call her. You know, in Nigeria, we always enjoy being trolled.
On Otedola's daughter.
Yeah, they just said Nigeria enjoy being shade someone. Not even when you are coming from a rich background, because there is always a demarcation between the rich and the poor in Nigeria. So once they see you, you are from the a rich background, automatically that hatred is always been there. I don't really know why it's always like that. The hatred is always been there. And they're always looking for maybe an avenue to shade the persons.
Yes.
They're like the career of that girl. I do follow that girl for a very long time. You know, I don't think whether I have the calling for the area of the music, but she's just trying to use her father influence to impose herself into Nigeria. And Nigeria, they are not even buying her idea.
No, they don't like her.
Yeah, I believe that is where she always have problem with them, because several times she always crash with Nigeria on Twitter and Instagram, just like that. So,
sorry, Sly, to interrupt you. I don't know what this girl thinks her relevance is, because she has no relevance outside being the daughter of this guy, and that resentment that you're saying, yes, I see it too. That there's a lot of resentment towards especially successful people, but people, especially within the Nigerian space, they resent people who they know come from wealth that is ill-gotten. So somebody like Tinubu's son, or daughter, they will resent him. But then, of course, somebody like Fashion Artist child, they will not resent. Somebody like Oduku's child, they will not resent. But somebody like Otedola's daughter, they will resent. Somebody like Dangote's daughter, they will resent. Somebody like Aminu. So you see, so carry on our slide. Finish your thoughts. Yeah.
So that is that. Like the second one you just read about the Oduduwa nations, which they are trying to start their agitation. Well, it's a welcome development. If breaking up that we solve the peace in Nigeria, I'm also by the idea. But the question now here is that is beyond by guarding and shouting, just like the word you use, a fulefu, understand, which we always see in the other region. But what is the modality are they putting in place to channel that energy to the right source in order for them to get what they want, what they need? It's not just by guarding, no, or maybe you gather here today, we need the Oduduwa, we need Oduduwa. That is just a state management. But what are the modality are being put in place in order for them to channel that energy to appropriate quarters so that they can get what they need? We are tired of being shouting for the other side, shouting for the other side. To me, it's a disturbance to the nation. But if they can able to pull the appropriate channel or the modality to the appropriate quarter in order for them to get what they need easily, I think it's a welcome development. Thank you. That is my contribution.
Yes, Sly, before I let you go, just to what you're saying, yes, a lot of that shouting, you know, it goes on, but like you say, other actions have to be taken, but those actions have not yet availed themselves. So it is to the protestations that people can go to at the moment. But there is this thing that people are saying that the Nigerian nation has actually run its legal course. This is something that a lot of people are saying, that the agreement that was put in place by the British at the formation of Nigeria, it has a set gestation period, and the Nigerian entity as an entity has actually run its legal space. That agreement time has elapsed, and that was 7 years ago. And that was one of the things, by the way, that they attribute to the killing of Bola Ige, that it was going to go to the international community then to force that thing through. So that is a conspiracy theory. There's no real, I've not really investigated it beyond just being aware of it. But the understanding is that Nigeria has actually ceased to exist as a nation as per the amalgamation that was put in place by the British. So, Sly, we'll let you go. Thank you for your contribution. It's been very interesting. And please come back, you know, because, of course, you've made it very interesting. So that was Sly. It was very clear in his views. I am African. I'll come to you for your closing thoughts, and then we'll round off with James. So I am African.
Just in the what do you mean by the Nigeria gestation period? Is there like a big good document that says when they bought it?
I think the formation of Nigeria, the agreement, and this is me just going from memory now. I think the formation of Nigeria, the agreement was for 100 years, and that 100 years.
Like
yes, that amalgamation document, it had like a time period on it, which was for 100 years or so. And that however amount of years that was on that agreement. And this is really, so don't take this to the bank, but this is me just reaching to memory of something that I became aware of several years ago. But that period of Nigeria, it being an entity, has actually lapsed, in terms of the agreement of that amalgamation. So effectively, let's say you buy your house for a 25-year lease, and that 25 years has now run out, and you are 30 years still into that property. So that is really, there's a theory to that, and I'll investigate it again and bring it back to the platform. But that is out there, and that is the attribution that they are putting to the death of Bola Ige. So there's a story there. I'll look into it some more and I'll feedback again. So give us your thoughts.
Okay, yeah, just going to talk about the Oduduwa Nation. I think, I'm not sure about this, but I think they are doing some background work in terms of like another Professor Banji Akintoye. Like, I think they are writing to the United Nations and EU and all of that. So, and I don't think they can do anything other than that. And then let's not forget that even like the protests that happened today, there wasn't any protest before. It was just all about almost like everybody just talking on social media. So, and then from there they progressed to the protest, and then you never know what might come up. So if the momentum, it's just for them not to run out of momentum. So if they keep the momentum going and people are working on the background, so I think something might come out from it. So yeah, so that's all from me.
Thank you. I am African, a regular contributor now. He's always quick to share his opinions with us, and his opinions are always informed and valued. I am African is always shy to let us know that he's a YouTuber, but he is a YouTuber, and he goes by the name that you're seeing on your screen. So go support him on his channel and give him a hard time. And make sure that you sweat him hard. So that is I am African. We look forward to seeing you again. James, what says you?
Yeah, thank you very much. Concerning this Ododuwa of a thing, or maybe Brafa agitation and everything that people are doing, I am not too worried about, cessation. Cessation in Nigeria is inevitable the way things are going, because there is already territories that Nigeria government can no longer hold. So many local government in the northeast is out of Nigeria control. So they are unable to get it back, and the people there, they have run for their life to Niger and Chad. So the thing is this: what is leading the Yoruba to cry for Ododuwa is just the killing, the evil, the oppression, and everything, the failed government or failed arrangement and all. And those things are still going to remain. So therefore, for Nigeria to go into secession, I see it as something that is completely inevitable. But my worry is this: with the people in the South being able to unite themselves together and do something different. Because if we undermine the division among us as a Southerners and just continue to be crying for cessation without even looking for a way to address it, I tell you, some people may make the mistake to throw us into Southern Sudan like of a cessation, and which is very dangerous. That is my worry.
Yeah. Well, thank you, James. But of course, as with everyone, your contribution has made things interesting in this session, and I hope you come back to contribute again. Yes, we no go agree. That is where we still are within the Nigerian space, carrying placards all over the place and making empty noise as these people continue to cut away the wealth of the central bank. But then, of course, what then is the next step is the question. And how is that step taken is the other question. Because, of course, when we see that James, I'll let you go. So when we see that the we no go agree is no longer potent, then, of course, then we have to, and the situation remains unchanged, then we have to think of more elegant ways to achieve what we seek out to achieve. And the one thing that has emphasized now the fault lines of Nigeria more than anything else, the one thing that we have to be thankful for the Buhari regime is that it has now highlighted the fault lines of the Nigerian space more than ever before. So all of those divisions that have always been in place but have never really been triggered, all of them have been triggered under this regime because, of course, he is clear in his agenda and the people are clear now in their resistance. So that concept of Nigeria is one now that has completely left the minds of the average Nigerian, especially most of the Southerners. But how do they then extricate themselves from this entity now that has them in a vice grip is the question. We no go agree, it's still where we are, but then where do we go from there? Let me go to the comment sections to see what you guys have made of the session. Where did we last stop? Yeah, we stopped with Israel. He said, good evening from Italy. Good evening to you, Israel. And then did we go to, yes, we had Olajide as well. And then we had Jennifer too. So we did not have Henry. So let's pick it up from Henry. Henry says, any knowledge without without knowledge to wealth will ruin the country. So yes, I'm sure there's some sort of sense in that. Jennifer, ha ha ha. And by the way, let me just make this clear call. We've been doing this session for going on the 2 weeks now. We're into these sessions, and this is something that's going to be happening every day. I am determined as much as I can to have these sessions for the whole of this month. So 1:45 UK time PM and then 10:30 UK time PM. So set it to your calendar and converge so we can have these sorts of sessions. And the other thing that I really wanted to call out, I do call people to come on screen, and I'm glad that a few people have come on screen and people are starting to come on screen. I do need you to come on screen because that is what really makes the interaction. Like you saw how we were bouncing off each other, me and the boys. So that is essentially what I want. But as I said, bouncing around with me and the boys. So we need a female voice as well to come on stream at some point, because throughout all of these sessions, everybody that has come on stream so far has been male, and we do need a female voice for that balance. So if you're female and you feel up enough to take up the challenge, then please do. So we go to Jennifer, ha ha ha, VIP for Okorocha verification clearance. None of them is really doing fine in that country called Nigeria, even the EFCC. So that is what Jennifer has to say. Sam, how long will Nigeria go through this? Well, that is the $1 million question, but what is your $1 million answer? So Bob comes in, Okorocha is a big time 419. I don't think even Okorocha's mother would disagree with that statement. Christian, divide now, Nigeria has failed the youth. So we get that comment a lot in the sessions. Jennifer comes back. If really timeline of the amalgamation is time up, what are they still waiting for? Then we should go back to how we were before, or are they waiting to renew the document or take over our land? So yes, that thing that I said is just me theorizing, and please put that in the realms of course conspiracy theory, because I am not saying it categorically. I'm just saying it that it is something that I became aware of a while ago. So I've not really investigated it in any depth. So just take it on face value and don't take it as a categorical statement. So we'll round off with Daniel. So Daniel rounds off the show for us, the session for us. Daniel, good evening from Australia. So we seem to have covered the length and breadth of the planet, because we've had somebody saying that they're coming, they are joining us from the Niger region. So that I'm assuming is Niger State. We've had somebody say they're from Qatar. So that of course is in the Middle East. We've had somebody say they're from Pittsburgh, somewhere in the United States, and we have a heavy presence of Americans here. Of course, equally heavy presence of Europeans, Turkey, etc., and now Australia. So we effectively cover the globe on this channel, because of course the matters that we discuss are that compelling, and they're existential matters that affect every single one of us. So thank you for joining, and I hope you reconvene. You know the schedule, 1:45 UK time every single day, and 10:45, that's PM. So 1:45 PM UK time every single day, and 10:30 p.m. UK time every single day for at least I am trying to hold to that commitment for the rest of the month. So I'll see how it goes. It's just really because a lot of you, some of you that have been following this channel, you would have been wondering that you've never really seen my person before. It is not usually my format to come online. I just do like an audio output and I post it up on the channel. But I feel that this interaction should be a way to pivot the interaction. This live streaming should be a way to pivot the interaction so that I can engage more with you guys and I can get that direct feedback as to how you are viewing what the channel is doing. So we are experimenting with it for the rest of the month. So please continue to support it. At least give me feedback to let me know if it's something that you'd like to see carry on. So that is it. That has been it. We started off, well, who did we start off with? It's been that long. So we started off with Emefiele, the governor of the central bank, telling us that Nigeria is in trouble. Well, I think everybody that bought bread for 100 naira yesterday and is buying it for 500 naira today, he already knows that Nigeria is in trouble. And then we went on to who did we go on to next? Then we went on to our funny man from Imo State, ROCHAS Okorocha, telling us that the AFCC facility is 5-star and they were feeding him champagne and foie gras, and caviar all the way through his 2-day stay there, as though he was doing some sort of like a hotel and restaurant review, this clownish guy. So we had him, and then we just did a pit stop with a Cbn as she continues to be mocked by the Nigerian person. She is seeking acceptability, of course, but then, of course, the crimes of the father is vested on the child. So that was that narrative. And then we had a bonus story about the agitation for Oduduwa Nation that is going on at the heartland of Oduduwa land, which is, of course, Ibadan. So that has been the session that we had. So that was the session that was. But, of course, it doesn't end with this live streaming. The conversation usually goes on in the comment section on this channel. Everybody that follows this channel knows this. That is where we really engage. So I'll invite you then to go to that channel, to that comment section to carry on this conversation, and I'll join you there. So I'll leave you with this live streaming. I'll leave you in this live streaming. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section. But here, I say, peace.